I've been hearing stories on the news all the time lately, and maybe you are too. Such as one about a man named who is a U.S. citizen. He was pulled over and detained by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency a few months ago, and was asked to show a form of identification. They stated, "You look like someone we're looking for." Lee must refuse to show identification, which he is legally allowed to do, due to the agents not giving any explanation for why they pulled him over and refusing to give their own names and badge numbers. The main point of this story was that Lemus was detained simply because of the color of his skin. He was treated as if he had no rights, and agents were illegally profiling him. Here's another story of a U.S. citizen named Lee Scott Babb. He was woken up to the sound of more than a dozen ICE agents banging his door down. With no warrant and completely masked, they were pointing guns at everyone in that room: his son, daughter-in-law, and his grandson. When the agents went to detain Scott, he was willing to show his identification, and they refused to look at it. The agents took Scott outside while his grandson watched and cried. He heard whistles blowing and neighbors screaming at the sight. The agents didn't care and proceeded to force him into the car, only wearing his underwear. Scott stated that they drove him to the middle of nowhere and began to photograph him. Filled with fear, he thought the agents were going to beat him. They asked for his identification, which earlier they had refused to look at. Once they found out he was a citizen, they took him back home and didn't say a single word, not even an apology for the trauma they had caused. You might be asking, why are these stories important? They're important because each story has been lived by a human, a soul, someone with a family, neighbors, and someone who does daily activities just like you. There are so many horrible stories out there just by searching up the word ICE, and this needs to be stopped. I want you to look at these stories. Click on them, search some more, watch videos. They're not hard to find. Last month, it seemed like everyone was watching. But I also want you to think about what you're not watching. What is happening away from the camera? In neighborhoods and parking lots, on the side of suburban streets, in detention centers in the middle of nowhere. What can't we see, and why aren't we allowed? Lemus has a name, a face, and a home. You can see them if you search. He looks like many people who live here. You might see him at the store, at church. You might sit next to him at a movie, or wait in line with him at the DMV. There are thousands of people like Alsan and like Scott. Millions if we were to take ICE at their word. The word millions doesn't mean anything, but a name does. A neighbor certainly means something. So tonight, I challenge you to stop thinking of the numbers. Think of Alsan, of Scott, of the people who are sitting next to you in this theater or in front of you on this stage. And ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped?